Hi, now let us learn to find few functions like f of t using convolution theorem and also to verify convolution theorem. Further, we can also find inverse using convolution theorem. Now let's go with the first problem. Verify the convolution theorem for the functions f of t equal to 1, g of t equal to sin t. L of f of t. So we have to use convolution theorem. The convolution theorem states that L of f of t star g of t is equal to L of f of t into L of g of t. So therefore we have to find L of f of t and L of g of t. So L of f of t is L of 1, that is equal to 1 by s. L of g of t is equal to L of sin t, that is equal to 1 by s square plus 1. Now the right hand side of convolution theorem is L of f of t into L of g of t, that is 1 by s into 1 by s square plus 1, that is equal to 1 by s into s square plus 1. The left hand side of the convolution theorem, that is L of f of t star g of t. F of t star g of t can be written as integral 0 to t f of t minus u g of u du. So f of t minus u, since f of t is a constant, we are taking integral f of t minus u g of u du. As we have an alternative, that we can also take integral 0 to t f of u g of t minus u du. But for this problem, since f of t, whenever a function is a constant, choose that function as function of t minus u. So that will give us L of integral 0 to t f of t minus u. F of t is 1, so f of t minus u is also 1. G of u is sin u du. So L of integral 1 into sin u. 1 into sin u is cos sin u. Integration of sin u is minus cos u, limits from 0 to t. And when we substitute the limits, we will get minus cos t, minus of minus plus cos 0. Cos 0 is 1. So now L of minus cos t plus 1. But L of minus cos t is minus s by s square plus 1. And L of 1 is 1 by s. So taking the LCM, we have s into s square plus 1. And in the numerator, minus s square plus s square plus 1, minus s square plus s square gets cancelled, and the remaining 1 by s into s square plus 1 is what we get, which is nothing but L into f of t into L into g of t, 1 by s into s square plus 1. Hence, left hand side is equal to the right hand side. So whenever we are asked to verify the convolution theorem, we have to solve the left hand side as well as the right hand side and show that they both are equal. Now going ahead, let us see a problem where we can find inverse using convolution theorem. So this problem states, using convolution theorem, find L inverse of s by s square plus a square the whole square. So when we are asked to find, we can use any one side. We need not use both sides of the theorem. With the extension of convolution theorem, we know that L inverse of f of s g of s is equal to L inverse f of s star L inverse g of s. So given the function s by s square plus a square the whole square, we are writing it as s by s square plus a square into 1 by s square plus a square. Having written it in this form, we choose this first function as the first function f of s and 1 by s square plus a square as g of s. Having chosen this way, we know that L inverse of f of s g of s. So this is in the form of L inverse of f of s g of s. It is equal to L inverse f of s star L inverse g of s. So we will get L inverse of s by s square plus a square star L inverse of 1 by s square plus a square. But L inverse of s by s square plus a square is cos at, and L inverse of 1 by s square plus a square. So multiply and divide by a, and that will give us sin at. Hence we will get 1 by a sine at. Now we have to find the convolution of this. That is 1 by a integral 0 to t sine au cos a into t minus u du. Okay, so we are choosing sine at. We are taking the integral as integral 0 to t f of t minus u into g of u du. But sin a cos b is half into sin a plus b plus sin a minus b. So taking a term as au and b term as at minus au. So when we subtract this, we will get at. So that is what we get here, sin at. And here sin, when we add, we will be getting, when we add, we'll be getting au plus at minus au, that will give us at. So that is for addition. And when we subtract, au minus at plus au. So that will be 2au minus at. Sine of 2au minus at plus sin at du. Now further we have to now integrate it. As we integrate, we'll get integral of sine function is minus cos. So minus cos 2au minus at. But we are integrating with respect to u. So coefficient of u is 2a. And here integration of sine at. Integration with respect to u. T is treated as a constant. So we'll get u sine at. Limits from 0 to t. As we substitute the limits, we will get minus 1 by 2a cos at. Upper limit 2at minus at, at. Lower limit is 0. So cos 0 minus at. Cos of minus at is cos at. So minus 1, for lower limit, minus of minus becomes plus. So minus 1 by 2a cos at plus 1 by 2a cos at gets cancelled. And the last term, when we substitute the limits, we'll get t sin at minus 0. So that is what is left, t sin at by 2a. And that is the solution for the given problem. Now going ahead, we can find the function f of t. For f of t equal to a sin t minus 2 integral 0 to t f of u cos t minus u du. Using convolution theorem, we can solve this because on the right hand side, we can see that we have integral 0 to t f of u cos t minus u du, which is in the form of integral 0 to t f of u g of t minus u du. So this can be written as f of t. In place of g of t minus u, we have cos t minus u. So g of t function is cos t. Hence, we are rewriting this integral in the form of f of t star cos t. L of f of t, take L on both sides. So we'll get L of f of t equal to L of a sin t minus 2 f of t star cos t. Further, L of f of t is equal to, by using linearity property, take Laplace transform for each function. So L of a sin t minus 2 L of f of t star cos t. But using convolution theorem, L of f of t star g of t is L of f of t into L of g of t. So we get this step, and L of a sin t is a into 1 by s square plus 1. L of cos t is s by s square plus 1. Substituting the functions, and now in the next step, we have to group the terms. Group those terms which has L of f of t. So on the right hand side, we have L of f of t term. Move that term to the left side, and the coefficient of L of f of t is minus 2s by s square plus 1. When moved to the left, it becomes plus 2s by s square plus 1. Take the LCM, simplify, and we'll get s square plus 1 plus 2s by s square plus 1 equal to, now on the right side only the first term is left, that is a by s square plus 1. So s square plus 1 is a common term on the denominator of both sides. It gets cancelled and we are left with a, and this function When you move to the right, it goes to the denominator, a by s square plus 1 plus 2s. S square plus 1 plus 2s is nothing but s plus 1 whole square. It can be written as s minus, plus 1 can be written as s minus of minus 1, and power 2. Power 2 can be written as 1 plus 1. So writing it in the standard form, the numerator can be written as 1 factorial, which is in the form of n factorial by s minus a power n plus 1